Hello traders, good morning and welcome to our weekly technical analysis using the scanner. So we are here today, Monday, the 1st of October 2024, and we will look at the markets together, starting with the indicator power. As we can see here, we have an Australian that stands out at 2.5. Apart from that, everything is pretty quiet. We are definitely in an accumulation phase, and this is what I will show you in a bit. So we start by having a look at the Australian here that is at 2.5, while all the other currencies are at 0, 1, -1. Also the Canadian is at -1.5. We'll have a look at it. So let's open the Australian and have a look at what we have here. We start by having a look at the Australian Canadian, which is the biggest distance here between 2.5 and -1.5. We have 4 points in difference, and we can confirm that in the power that we don't have any bigger difference than that. So we start here with the right currency pair. Long-term trend is a beautiful uptrend. In the short-term uptrend, we have here the support that follow an uptrend, the resistances as well. The first lock here has been respected as the prices remain above the closing of this lock. Where is the second one? The second one is here. Same thing here. The prices remain above the closing and above the middle one. So we have a very good second lock. And the third one, as we can see, is being currently tested with the candle GMT7 that is currently bouncing on the middle. But this is a good sign because the GMT7 remain above the third lock. We have a correlation between the long-term uptrend and the short-term uptrend. So this is a good pair to look into for the rest of the day. Let's continue with the Australian Swiss. So the Australian overall has a long-term uptrend. However, we have a short-term range here since the resistances, as we can see, and the support are failing to follow the upward movements of the uptrend. So we have here a sideways currency pair. The Australian yen, we'll have a look at the yen that had a strong momentum, a lot of volatility last Friday. So the yen that had a lot of volatility last week, as we can see, there was a strong uptrend. The yen was quite weak across the board. And then we had a strong reversal distribution phase. Then the Australian yen is slowly gaining momentum again, but as we can see in the short term, we don't have an actual trend since the resistances and the supports are failing to follow the uptrend. Let's continue with the Australian New Zealand. The Australian New Zealand here is sideways on the long term and the short term trend, so we have nothing really interesting. We have a strong bullish momentum, very recent here with the Australian that is gaining strength. However, even if we are breaking here some short-term and long-term resistances, we have a triple top here that is about to be broken potentially. Unfortunately, we don't have a proper trend to analyze at the moment. The Australian dollar, so the dollar is a little bit strong here at 1. We have a short-term uptrend and a long-term uptrend as well. However, we can see that this uptrend, it's really struggling here. So thanks as well to the confirmation of the power indicator, we have here small retracement. We will continue to monitor. This is a little bit early. As I said, we are still in an accumulation phase, and this is what we can see at the moment with all the currencies being close to zero. Now the euro is interesting. Actually, we have the euro that is at -1 and the Australian at +2.5. We have a long-term downtrend and a short-term downtrend. The first lock candle here hasn't been respected since the market has retraced beyond the open of this lock. The second one is valid here since the prices are bouncing below the middle line of this lock. The third one as well is valid, and the fourth one is very valid with the GMT7 here bouncing just on the close of this last lock candle. So we have a quite valid euro Australian that it will be interesting to monitor. And the sterling Australian, same thing. We have a long-term downtrend, short-term downtrend, same thing for the lock. The first one is not valid, the second one is, the third one is, and the fourth one as well is, with a GMT7 here making a small pullback. However, the short-term trend remains very valid. So apart from the Australian here, we have the euro at -1, the sterling at -1, the CAD at -1.5. Let's have a look at the Canadian dollar to see if we have anything interesting to look at. So the Australian Canadian, we have already seen it by analyzing the Australian currency. The CAD Swiss has a strong reversals throughout the long term and the short term, so nothing interesting here. The CAD yen was in an uptrend. We'll have a look at the yen. As we can see, we have a strong reversal here. The Euro CAD is really choppy up and down. Both of them are negative, so nothing interesting. The sterling CAD is trying to follow an uptrend, but however, you can see that it's retracing, so we'll have to be patient on that one. Same thing for the New Zealand CAD. They are trying to follow an uptrend. The New Zealand is at 0. If it was gaining strength, then we will continue and resume the uptrend, but it looked like we might have some potential reversal for the beginning of this month of October. And finally, the dollar CAD. We had a sideways period here long term, then a downtrend, and now we have a reversal with an uptrend. However, we can see that the short term is far from reaching any long-term resistance, so we'll have to be really careful when we have such an opposite long-term and short-term trends. I will finish with the yen here to show you that last month we closed with a strong reversal and a distribution phase. We had a pretty amazing month of August, pretty amazing month of September, and this is what I want to confirm you here. As you can see, throughout the month of September, we had a strong uptrend, always marking new lock, new resistances, new supports. The uptrend has been very valid until that point here around the 26th to 27th of September, in which we had a strong reversal that broke the previous resistances. We can see that the new support failed to mark new highs and the resistances as well. So far, the uptrend is on hold until we have a confirmation of a reversal with the lower highs and lower lows, or if this range is broken from the upside, potentially the uptrend will resume, but we don't know for now. We'll have to be patient, and we can see how the yen has been weak across the board. We had an uptrend here, same thing. Fundamental analysis will justify it with some news, important news on the yen. However, these types of really strong momentum, bullish or bearish, that arrive at the end of a strong trend are really common, and they would mark the end of the public participation phase that lasted here for a long time. So as you can see, everything was correlated. The yen was weak across the board since the past 15 days. Same thing for the New Zealand here, and we finish with the dollar yen. Same thing here. So we'll have to be patient on the yen, and we'll have a look at what will happen within this range, if it will be broken from the upsides, resuming the trends, or from the downside, marking a new reversal. And in such case, then we will continue to monitor the power indicator to see what's happening with all our currencies. But so far, a quiet beginning of the month, an Australian that stands out a little bit, that we will monitor since it offers a couple of opportunities that we have shown at the beginning of this video. Therefore, let's see what's happening in the coming days, and hopefully a new public participation phase will enter certain currencies and will mark good opportunities for us to enter. Until then, I wish you a happy week and a happy month of trading, and see you soon. Ciao, ciao.